Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining this live NSO session, Course Materials 101, hosted by the Office of Orientation and Transition Programs, University Media Services, and the Barnes Noble Bookstore. My name is Coleman Keith, and I will be assisting with today's session. In this session today, our presenters will be providing information about course materials and textbooks, and will give you the opportunity to ask questions. And if you have any questions during the session, please type your question into the Q&A box, which will be monitored by our Orientation and Transition Programs staff, along with some bookstore staff as well. For this presentation, we will respond to questions via the Q&A box as we are able, and we will also prompt the presenters with your questions at the end of the session. Now, let me turn it over to the bookstore.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Gall. I'm the general manager at the Barnes Noble UD Bookstore. Tonight, we're going to be discussing course materials we call Textbooks 101. And first off, what I really just wanted to do was talk about the different ways to consume course material. And then we'll actually get into how you place a textbook and some call outs about what it's going to look like when you place a textbook order. And then just take some general questions and give you some just some FAQs and tips on placing your course material order. So textbooks have changed a lot dramatically in the last 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, and even in the last year. So the first thing I want to do is just go over the like I said, the different ways to consume course materials and what each course material is. So obviously used books, which most people understand, but that is one of our two physical conditions of a textbook. They're textbooks that have been previously used by students on UD's campus or at other campuses. And since they are secondhand, they are less expensive than a new textbook. Due to this, used books tend to sell out and rent out very quickly. And you can purchase those on the web as we go and show you about how to order your textbooks. A new textbook, physical, obviously sounds just like the title, right? That book is new. It's coming directly from the publisher. It is the most expensive option when it comes to a physical textbook. Sometimes textbooks are new only, whether that is something that was just recently printed, a custom edition of a textbook, or something that is specially printed for the University of Delaware. We try to have as few new textbooks as possible on the shelves and available on the web. Those two physical course materials used in new textbook can be rented. The rental used book is the least expensive physical option when it comes to a textbook. So when you're being prompted in your shopping cart, you're going to be prompted whether you wanted to rent your books if available. And if you do click that button, that means pretty much that you're borrowing that book for the entire semester. And those books are due back to the bookstore at the bookstore the last day of finals. Rental books can always be turned in earlier. So if you're done with your rental book in the middle of the semester, the first day of finals, you can always bring them in earlier. But their due date is always the last day of finals. You want to return your rental books. At the time of renting, you'll receive information on what happens if you don't. And basically, you will be charged a replacement fee for that rental book, as well as a processing fee. We want those books back, and we really want those students to bring them back. There's also an option when you rent to send those books back to us via a UPS label. What'll happen is when rental books are due back, students generally receive about 4 to 5 emails requesting those books to be turned in. It'll give you the option to purchase a $5 UPS label to send those rental books back. You can put all the rental books back in the same box. We generally ask that you include some information in there. The label tells us your order number, and you can send them back to us if you prefer that method. The next form or way to consume a book, we call them digital purchasing and digital rentals, but most people know them as ebooks. So that is literally the book available in a digital format that students can consume that way. That is a recommended usually along with the physical books. We're recommending if you want to consume the book that way digitally versus having a physical book on hand. Professors do occasionally require a digital purchase of a book, but generally faculty members use what we call digital delivery, and we'll talk about that a little later. But an electronic book are digital versions of those textbooks. And when you order them, you're going to receive an email from customer care, or what we call Yuzu. And that's the platform in which you'll read your digital materials on when you're purchasing those from us. You can either rent or buy a digital, and those options show generally digital books are rentals, which means after a certain time period, that digital book can no longer be accessed. It is plenty of time for the semester. Generally, they rent in 180-day fashion, but there are occasional digital books that you can actually purchase outright. Other materials that we sell that you're going to come across is a lab manual or a course pack. Those generally are only available new. The faculty member has put those materials together, and they are coming to us from our university printing department. Obviously, a lab manual is something that students are going to fill out. So, of course, we can't sell that used. That's something that the students are going to turn in. And as well as the course packs that faculty members put together, they generally change every semester, so they cannot be sold as used. Course packs and lab manuals also cannot be rented. Course packs and lab manuals can generally start in as low as $5 or $6 and go up from there. Some lab manuals are printed by a publisher, and those can go around $30 to $40. But you will see those materials when you're trying to select your books. Digital delivery is very used widely by most faculty members. What happens is the course using this method requires content that will automatically be delivered to the student digitally. That cost of that digital delivery is charged to the student account after add drop. This is the least expensive option when it comes to course materials, and faculty members choose that digital material for two reasons. One, the material is available immediately to the student, generally a few days before classes start, and it is, again, the least expensive option. A lot of times homework components are attached to digital delivery. So what the student is really receiving is a digital version of the book, as well as access to homework or quizzes, tests, studies, questions that the student will be filling out. That access is really the key component. If a faculty member is requiring a digital delivery material, they are generally requiring that due to homework, quizzes, or tests that are part of that component. Students receive 2 emails directly from the bookstore prior to add drop, one before classes start, letting them know that they're in a course that requires a digital material, how much that digital material is, how to opt out, and what happens if they opt out, shutting off that access for homeworks, quizzes, tests, and the digital book as well. They also receive one right before the add drop. If a student is enrolled in a class that requires digital delivery and then drops the class in the time of the add drop, we do not charge that student, and that student does not need to do anything in the way of notifying the bookstore. Rosters are pulled after the add drop, and the digital delivery is charged after that. So if the student is dropping, there's nothing to do on that end. The student will have access until the digital delivery is turned off. So just so you know on that. The other questions that we get about digital delivery, how to actually physically access it, if there's a problem with the link, the code, whatever the faculty member is giving to the student will deal with the faculty member directly. The faculty member will provide information to the students on how to access their digital material. They will talk about what it's going to be used for. Some faculty members do that in their syllabus. Some do it through the learning management system, which we call Canvas. Some faculty members will email that out ahead of time. So just some tips from that conversation. If you would like to purchase a physical book, the cheapest, least expensive way to do that is to rent a used book. The sooner you place your order, the sooner you will receive it, or it'll be available for pickup. You do not have to pick up your textbooks until you come to campus. Usually the materials need to be picked up by that first Friday of the first week of class. If you do need it shipped, try to keep your orders down to one order instead of multiple ones. It'll definitely save you on shipping as well as confusion on your orders and your rentals. The students, again, will receive information on returning those rentals to us as well. So the next thing I would like to talk about, and if you could go to the next slide for me, is really how you go about purchasing your course materials and what that selection is going to look like. So the slide that we have up there right now is just a slide right after. So the student is going to log into UDSIS and they're going to click a button that says My Class Schedule. And when they get to that, what they're going to see is on the screen that pop-up that comes up showing you what that screen looks like. And then there is a button on the bottom that says buy or rent your textbooks. That's kind of in the middle of the screen there. If the student clicks that button, what is going to happen is your shopping cart is going to preload the material that is required and recommended just for the classes that you're enrolled in. So you're only seeing the material for your particular schedule. From that, you'll be able to then make your choice on how you want to consume that material. If you could go to the next slide for me, just a little sample of what that screen will look like. If you see the digital delivery with the price in it, that means that you are enrolled in a digital delivery class. If you notice, the price is always included in there. So that is kind of the mark that you know you're in a digital delivery class. If you add that digital delivery to your cart, as you can see, it's a zero price there. What's going to happen is we are going to cancel that digital delivery off your order. And the reason why we're canceling that digital delivery off that order is because, one, there's nothing that we can provide to you at the time of that order. And two, there's zero pricing on there because your materials are charged after your ad drop. So that is why it'll show zero. Again, the best way to know that you're in a digital material or a digital delivery class is you're going to see that price in the actual course, just like it shows on the slide there. So that is the easiest way to know that you're in a digital delivery. On the bottom of that slide, you're going to see selections for the actual print book. You're going to see a rental, and you're going to see a digital purchase as well. The digital purchase is what I would call an ebook or a digital version of just that textbook. Sometimes it's with an access, sometimes it is just the textbook. When you see that digital, that means you're not in a digital delivery class, and it means that the student has the choice on how they would like to consume that textbook. There's a lot of confusion when it comes to digital. Digital is obviously all over that shopping cart view that you're seeing there. But again, the easiest way to know whether you're in a digital delivery is the class title will say your course, digital delivery, the price in that title, and then you'll see zero pricing on the actual screen as well. You can add it to your shopping cart, but do know that we will cancel it. Again, because there is nothing that we're actually fulfilling at that time. So that is kind of just a little sample there. And if you could go to the next slide for me. This is just a sample of all the digital delivery courses that going to be used in the spring, and there's much more than this. But you will receive one of these flyers in with your textbook reservation box, either whether you're having it shipped to your residence or picking it up in the store. And what we do is we will circle the classes that you're in so that you're aware that you're also in these digital delivery classes. It has the course, the sections, and then the price of that digital material. Just another reminder that you're in those digital classes. Probably one of the biggest confusions is students receive their bill after the add drop period, and there'll be a charge from the bookstore on there, and the charge has the amount of the digital class. Unfortunately, we can't provide more information to student billings. We can't put that course in there. But if you see a charge, the best thing to do is really go back and take a look and know which classes you have digital delivery in. We tend to start ringing that the day after add drop, and it takes us about 7 days to ring all those charges through. So if you see that charge and you haven't been to the bookstore on that particular day, it is your digital delivery being rung up there. So one of the, just a few call outs that I have really is we do get questions about students placing their orders, and after you place an order, you receive a confirmation email, and that confirmation email shows how you would like to consume your course materials. So basically what you've put in your shopping cart and the way you would like to receive it. Again, the least expensive physical option would be a used rental book. So you check used rental book. And when we go to fulfill, if there are no used rental books, at the time of checking out, you will click a button that says that you understand that we will substitute that book for a different book type. So say we're out of used material, you will get a new rental book if available. So your charge is not really set until you receive the email that says your invoice has been processed. We do not charge you until we actually process your order. You'll also receive an email with a tracking number if you're having it shipped to your residence, or you'll receive an email that says your books are available for pickup. And as I stated, we tend to start filling those orders, and we're currently filling them right now. You'll receive an email that says your books are available, and it's okay if you're not returning to campus until February 4th or 5th or 6th. We're just letting you know that your books are available. You'll also receive a flyer that'll explain our refund policy. We do a refund, no questions asked, within the first 7 days, as long as you either have a receipt if you've purchased in store, or if you've purchased online, you'll simply tell the staff person that you bought your books through the textbook reservation system, as we have your receipt for you. That information is there as well. If you need to return a book after that 7-day grace period, you have until the end of add drop, the day after add drop, if you've dropped a class. Again, we will need a receipt if you've purchased in store, or if you've purchased on the web, that will be your receipt. You just let the staff person know again, whether you purchased in store or whether you purchased online, and we will do that return. Books need to come back in the same condition in which we've given them to you. So if you buy a new book and you write in it, we can definitely take that book back for you, but we would be taking it back in a used condition. We take back used rentals, new rentals. The only thing is when it comes to a digital item, not a digital delivery, but a digital purchase where you're purchasing or choosing to consume that ebook yourself. We cannot take it back if you've downloaded that ebook. So just make sure that you really want to take that class and you're really going to use that before you click it open. If you do not download it, we take it back in the same time frame, 7 days, no questions asked, or if you've dropped a class, but it cannot be downloaded. And the student or staff person can see when they are taking care of your order, whether that book has been downloaded or not. I always say if you're going to consume a digital book on your own, just make sure you need it before you actually download it, would be my best advice on that. And other than that, the earlier you place your order, the better off you are getting used rentals. Definitely rentals always go quickly. We do not We are not able to rent to every student in the class. We'd like to. There are some classes we can, but rental really also is a first come, first serve as well. If you have any questions, please let us know at the bookstore. We have our contact information on the bookstore's website. You can get our back to class hours. You can ask those questions. You can also purchase directly through the web, but I highly recommend going through your schedule, because then you are given everything that you need, required or recommended on that shopping cart, and you decide then what you purchase and how you wish to purchase. If you go through the website, then you literally will go through the painstaking part of choosing your course, choosing your section, and then adding things to your cart. This just makes it easier. You get to see everything right up front and you make your decisions from there. So I definitely recommend going that route if you can. And other than that, of course, you can always just purchase books in store. You do not have to place an order online. I would say the majority of the students do place their order online for pickup in store, but you are more than welcome to come into the store and just get your books directly off the shelf. Some students find that easier. They like to actually pick which copy they would like to have by getting it right from the shelf. Web orders are filled from the shelf. So they're filled in store. So they're here if the student chooses just to come in and purchase as well. So, and that's really all I have. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.
Well, we're going to start wrapping up. So I want to say thank you to today's presenters and all of you for joining us. We encourage you to check out the calendar of upcoming live NSO sessions in your Canvas course or the Blue Hen Family Hub. And if you have any questions about virtual NSO, which is tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. to noon, be sure to contact us at otp@udel.edu. Thank you so much and have a wonderful night.
Thank you.